Hello and welcome into the Knicks-Verse. Right now, this is a late night edition, very late, especially for the East Coast. For me, it's almost 11 o'clock, almost 11 p.m. For you guys, it's like 1:41. And if you stayed up to watch this game, kudos to you. You are quite the fan. Just like, I used to do it. I used to love watching the West Coast games. I'd go out to dinner and then come back home and get some popcorn and watch the game. Man, I wish the result was rewarding for us. But there were some positive things in this game. They showed signs. The Knicks showed signs of life. They lost by 10, but that final score, doesn't really show how close this game was for most of the time. Remember, this is the second game of a back-to-back after a demoralizing loss, an overtime loss to the Lakers just last night, and they lost Jalen Brunson, who sprained his ankle. If you don't know yet, and you're just tuning in now, he's out, I would say, for at least 3 weeks. They're going to reevaluate his ankle in 2 weeks, is what the Knicks PR Twitter account said. But I'm hoping that he's able to come back for at least for the 5 or 6 final games of the season. But that's something else. Tonight we're here to evaluate what this new Knicks team without Jalen Brunson is all about. And even though they did lose to the Clippers, now the Clippers, I'll tell you, don't sleep on the Clippers. Clippers are a good team. They might even pull off like some first round upsets. They could be that kind of a team. They are an interesting team. They have a unique set of talents, and they have, in my opinion, it's Eric Spoelstra and Ty Lue. Those are my two. Those are my two best coaches, in my opinion, in the NBA that are coaching today. So, and then they also have Jeff Van Gundy. They're a tremendous team. And Kawhi is healthy and he's back, and James Harden is playing some decent ball. But they were without Norman Powell tonight. Norman Powell, who is having an insane career year tonight. But the Knicks were without Mitch Robinson because he can't play a second game of a back-to-back, and they were without Jalen Brunson. So you're wondering what kind of team is going to show up? Well, the New York Knicks were able to get within 1 point at the end of the third quarter. They whittled the lead down to just one. And it looked like they had enough to overtake and win this game. And you know what? On any other night, that's not the second game of a back-to-back, and it's also not the second game of a back-to-back after losing their best player, maybe they pull this game out. Now, it's going to take time. It's going to take time. It's going to be a process. I hate to use that word, for how they figure out how to close games and how they hold on to leads and build leads. But we saw signs of life tonight. So welcome into the Knicks-Verse. My name is George. If this is your first time here, please subscribe, hit the thumbs up button for me, and drop your comments. I go live from time to time. Usually I do recorded recaps, but tonight definitely demanded a live recap here. So what's up, Gideon? 81 Roman, Connor T. Okay, we got the old crew here in the house. Love it. All right, the diehards, man. Let's see here. I'll get to this chat here. Let me keep rolling here. Let's go. All right, New York Knicks lost 105-95. They could not break the century mark tonight, but they played a decent amount of defense tonight. I saw. Mikal Bridges, for one thing, he played some very good defense for most of the game. There was one particular possession at a key moment in the game in that third quarter when the Knicks had fallen behind by 9, and then they were able to chop that lead down, that deficit down to just 1. And one of the key plays was Mikal Bridges one-on-one with James Harden in the left baseline. He sealed him off beautifully, and I think he even blocked the shot. I can't remember if it was a block or it was just he forced him into a bad attempt. But it was it was basically ended the possession. Knicks got the ball, they went up the other court, and they scored. So that is a very good sign. And I saw Mikal Bridges actually take the ball from the free throw line drive all the way to the hoop. He did not stop, spin, do a fadeaway all the way to the hoop, and he picked up the foul call. He went to the free throw line tonight. That's right. He went to the free throw line tonight. So there are positive signs here. The Knicks were without Mitch, which definitely hurt them, especially with Zubac. Zubac was basically bringing it to Cat. He was making Cat work hard on the defensive end, and it was definitely sapping his energy on the offensive end. And it's one of the reasons why I think Thibs held Cat to the kept Cat on the bench way too long in that fourth quarter, because Ty Lue kept Zubac on the bench in the fourth quarter for a very long time. So they were trying to keep them on the court at the same time. However, Ty Lue knew that if he kept Zubac out longer, then Cat would stay out longer, and that would allow the other Clippers to take advantage of the tired and fatigued Knicks who had played just the night before. Those are the type of things where Thibs needs to get on the other end of that. Just bring him in earlier. Force them to make the adjustments. I mean, we really could have used Cat earlier in that fourth quarter to give us some offense. The offense was stagnating. I mean, look, we didn't even break the 100 mark. And actually, the Clippers were stuck at 94 points for a very long time. So if we had brought Cat in earlier, who knows? Maybe he hit some of those threes that they hit later in the game. He hit some earlier, and then the deficit gets chopped down. Maybe it's a tie game going into those last 2-3 minutes of the game. Instead, it went the other way. I feel like Thibs constantly gets out-coached by the better coaches in this league. And, I mean, the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding. The results are what the results are. Now, the Knicks do have 40 wins. That's wonderful. A lot of that can be attributed to tremendous hero ball by Jalen Brunson, especially after the turn of the calendar year. We're into January now. I mean, Jalen has been unbelievable in terms of in the clutch, to helping us win games. And Cat has been struggling of late. But tonight, he showed some signs of life. Let's see. Let's get to here. Let's move on here. So I tweeted this out here because this thing was driving me insane. This was driving me insane. Cat's indecisiveness on offense. And what I'm specifically referring to is when he decides to just let it fly beyond the arc or drive. Because the problem with him is when he drives, that's it. The play's over. It's either he makes the bucket, gets fouled, or he misses the bucket, ends up flailing into the audience behind the into the crowd behind the hoop of his hoop, and then the play's going the other way, and then it's a 5-on-4. Bro. And when you have your indecisiveness, you're, should I shoot? Then that allows the defender to step up a little bit closer to you, and then you're forced to drive. And now you're taking the ball from 27 feet out, driving all the way to the hoop, and they're all going to collapse on you, bro. So that's when you have to spray the ball. But he refuses to. This is the major adjustment that has to happen for this Knicks team to get to that next plateau. Cat, you have to begin to approach your drives in a different manner. I get the way you're doing it. You figure if I put everything I have into driving to the hoop, I'm going to get there. I'm going to make this bucket. The problem is you don't quite have that athleticism. You don't. You're not that kind of guy. You're not Giannis. You're just not. You have incredible touch. You do have incredible touch, but many times your ball gets short. You actually, a couple of times you try to use the backboard and just totally miss the hoop. At least once I saw that for sure. You're just not sharp enough right now. Maybe that's fatigue. I don't know what's going on with you. You're definitely not the guy that we saw earlier in the season, but use your mind, use your brain, bro. Use your brain. Adapt to what's happening in front of you. And man, if you're look at what it says here. Cat's indecisiveness on offense is crippling what the Knicks can do when they have the ball. Shoot the damn ball, dude. You're 7 feet tall. Nobody can block your shot beyond the arc. That is a fact. No one can block your shot. Let it fly. I'd rather you fucking let it fly from the three-point line and airball it instead of driving and missing and ending up, like hugging the cameraman. And then the fucking play is going the other way. This is the shit I'm talking about. Adjust. You've got to be the man now. This is your team. You can't let little Josh Hart fucking out-rebound you. He got 20 rebounds tonight. This should have been a game where you gave us 44 points and 22 rebounds. I'm fucking pissed. But I'm going to cut you some slack. I know you're recovering from an intense emotional experience, so I'm cutting you some slack. But we got games coming up. We can't have you playing in the future the way you played tonight. All right. Here we go. New York Knicks box score. I don't have any highlights because I'm live, and highlights are a pain in the ass when I'm live. YouTube flags my channel when I go live. Shout out to the chat. We got Gideon in the house. Lex the Destroyer, what's up, brother? Gangstar A. Oh, are you new? I haven't seen you in the chat before. Thank you for joining me. Dusty Fanny 51. Yes, how you doing? Remember you. Eddie Kofi. We must just avoid Detroit in the playoffs. Detroit is going to be a problem for whoever faces them for sure. I think we can overcome them if we get Brunson back and we get Mitch back for sure. We will get Mitch back, by the way. He just had to sit out because of the second game of back-to-back. I think we can take care of him. Gideon thinks we should also avoid Indy. Well, we can't avoid everybody. We have to play who's in front of us at this point. And what I don't like about the whole mindset is right now is that we're like worried about who we want to avoid, where a season ago, if you remember, it was no one wants to play the Knicks in the 7-game series. That the narrative has completely flipped. And I get why. I understand it. But I'm not buying in on that. This Knicks team is still an incredibly dangerous team. Look, this team has come to Los Angeles, and Lakers needed to go to overtime to beat this team, and they needed our point guard to sprain his ankle and leave the game when it was tied 107-107 to win that game. And then tonight, the Clippers, they needed to beat us on the second game of a back-to-back. This team has enough. Don't lose faith in this team. This team has enough. And Brunson is coming back. I believe that Brunson is definitely coming back. And again, we didn't have Mitch tonight. So don't lose faith. Don't lose faith. We did need to double team Zubac. We definitely need to do that. But what's interesting? I will say shout out to Precious. I thought Precious played some very good defense on Zubac late in that fourth quarter. While Cat was resting, he played some good defense. The Knicks even got this thing down to just 1 point. It was just a 1-point lead at the end of the third quarter. It was right there for us. But second game of a back-to-back, legs got a little tired. The shots started falling short. It was going to happen. But shout out to Mikal Bridges tonight. He showed up. He even drove to the hoop. 43 minutes, 8 of 12 overall. Only attempted 1 3-point shot. That is my major beef. My major beef with this game is the Knicks should have been shooting at least 40 3-pointers tonight. Now, they didn't shoot for a high percentage, only 26.5%. But, like I've always said before, doesn't mean just because you miss your first 3 3-point shots or 4 3-point shots, you're going to miss the next 3 or 4. It doesn't work that way. And if you're in the game and it's 88-89, at the beginning of the fourth quarter, keep sticking with your game plan. The 3-point shot is your major ingredient here. You need to keep providing that, or else you're trading 2-point attempts for 3-point attempts on the other end, and that is basically what ended up happening in this game, because the Clippers kept shooting from the 3-point line. And I will show you. Here we go. The Clippers, now the Knicks did attempt 7 3-pointers in the fourth quarter. Unfortunately, Deuce McBride just can't hit the side. Well, actually, he hit a couple of 3-pointers earlier on. But in the fourth quarter, it just wasn't there for him. You can see here, he was 2 for 9 overall in the game. Only 7 points, 2 for 13. So think about this. New York Knicks lost by 10 points to the Clippers in their home arena, and their starting point guard shot 2 for 13. So, I know Deuce has been in a funk of late offensively, but he's going to break out of it soon. And once he does, this New York Knicks team is going to become a very lethal offensive weapon. And now, defensively, they're going to provide the defensive presence that is required of a team that is contending. This is what's going to happen here during this period of time. This is the process. This team is going to dig deep into its defensive traits and pull them out, like we saw Mikal Bridges tonight. Look at Josh Hart. 14 points, 20 rebounds, 46 minutes of play. Only 1 of 4 from the 3-point line, though. But he did pick up 6 assists. Deuce had 6 assists, and Mikal Bridges had 5 assists. Nice. They moved the ball around. Tonight, the Knicks had 5 more assists than they had last night, and last night they played in overtime. So the ball was moving. They did so many things right tonight. So many things right. It just, I'm gonna chuck this up to, hey, look, this is the first game after a shocking loss. I'm talking about not the loss to the Lakers, but shocking loss of Jalen Brunson, and they had to adjust instantly on the fly. I think this was a pretty decent effort tonight. The game was right there. They almost won it. If this wasn't the second game of a back-to-back, I think they might even have pulled this game out. Also, they probably would have had Mitch Robinson. If this game was tomorrow night, on Saturday, which I don't understand why it wasn't. Why wasn't it on Saturday? Why, NBA? Why? What's going on? What's going on in Inglewood tomorrow night? Why couldn't whatever's going on in Inglewood tomorrow night happen tonight and the Knicks play tomorrow? Why? That shit drives me nuts, but whatever. If the Knicks had Mitch tonight, if the Knicks had Mitch available for them and they were playing tomorrow night, they would have pulled this game out. They would have had a great chance to pull this game out. Precious Achiuwa, 16 minutes, 4 of 6. He had a nice little moment there. We had a little 3-point play. He kind of just chucked. He kind of like, what is that little shot? He just kind of like, just chucks it up. It went in. It was like an 8-footer, maybe a 9-footer, and he got the and one. He hit that. Beautiful for him. He finished with 9 points. Campaign still struggling offensively. 2 of 7 overall. 1 of 3 from the 3-point line. And Landry Shamet. Damn it, Shamet. Shoot the fucking 3. I don't care that you missed your first 2. You had a wide open look at the top of the arc in a key moment, and you passed it up. You decided to drive, and you got nothing. Shoot your 3s. In fact, fuck this thing, man. Knicks. If anyone's watching this and has any communication with this team, get this message through to them. Shoot your fucking 3s when you're open. I don't want to see you driving if you're open. You drive when the guy's closing hard out on you. Not if the guy starts moving towards you, but he's still 7 feet away, you shoot the 3. That's not your opportunity to drive past him. Come on. Shoot your 3s. This game today, the modern NBA, is you must make your fucking 3-point shots. And if you're open, it increases your chances of making the shot tremendously. I'm talking to Cat. I'm talking to Shamet. I'm talking to Hart. I'm talking to Mikal Bridges. The one guy I'm not talking to is OG Anunoby. He is doing it right. He's taking the shots when he has them. And even Deuce, he's taking the shots. Sometimes he's taking them too quickly. He's like, settle in. Shoot it in your motion, in your regular motion. Don't rush your shot. But at least he's attempting them. All right. Let's get back. All right, here we go. What have I missed here? OG Anunoby, even though, look, he attempted 8 3-point shots. He only hit 2, but at least he's trying to keep that defense honest. 11 points for him, 8 rebounds, played some tremendous defense. Only 37 minutes for him for some reason, interestingly. The Knicks, they shot overall inside the arc terribly, outside the arc terribly, beyond the arc terribly. 26.5% from the three-point line, 38.5% overall. They did get 53 rebounds, so that was nice. Actually, let's get to this over here. Let's get to these comparisons here. All right, here's the team comparisons. Points in the paint, Knicks won that battle, +6. Right down here, the circle on the bottom left. Second chance points, almost even, 11-10. Fast break points, even. So everything was even here. What wasn't even was the three-point shooting. Almost 40% for the Clippers, and the Knicks, 27%. There's the story. Now, where was Pacome Dadier? I talked about him in the live that I went earlier today discussing the Jalen Brunson injury. And if you haven't watched that, you should definitely check that video out, because I break down how the Knicks can approach these final 20 games without Jalen Brunson. But I actually think Brunson will be coming back for the final 5 or 6 games. I'm hoping he does, but it breaks it down. And one of the key things are find a pure three-point shooter, and that's Pacome Dadier. I don't care that he's 19. That's irrelevant. It's a sunk cost, if you understand what that means. It's a sunk cost. He's on the roster. He can hit the three. He's 6'7", 6'8", or something like that. And he's wiry. He can actually snake his way to the basket as well. Let him figure the defense out. Teach him how to play defense. But the man can shoot. That is 100% a fact. And you need someone like that on this team, especially without Jalen Brunson, because he was the one who used to hit those big buckets from above the break, on the right side above the break. He hit those monster threes to either win you the game, tie you the game, keep you in the game, get back in the game. You need a guy like Pacome Dadier to at least play 10, 15 minutes a game tonight, because we don't see it from Landry Shamet. We don't see that fire and desire to just let it fly. We don't see it. And Deuce is struggling. Deuce would normally also be that guy who provides. He's struggling right now. I do think he's going to break out of it, though. And remember campaign? Sometimes he'd come in, he hit boom, 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 three. He hit 3 out of 4 from the three-point line. He hasn't been that guy of late. But we need someone like that. And Pacome Dadier is that guy. Next thing is, where the fuck was Tyler Kolek? Where was he? Let me ask you a question. Was the Knicks brass asleep last night while the Knicks were playing in Los Angeles? When Brunson, sprained his ankle? Why wasn't Tyler Kolek on the red-eye flight to get to this game today? You have a 3-hour advantage. When you fly west, you gain 3 hours. So where the fuck was he? Why is he flying to Sacramento for a Monday game? That's 2 days from now. It's like a fucking year from now. I don't understand what's happening with this team. Pisses me off, man. Wait, I want to look at this. No, this. Look at this. Look at all this right here. But the Knicks were right there at the turn of the quarters, from the third to fourth quarter. They were right there, but could not pull this thing out. Frustrating. Very frustrating. Okay, let's move to the plus minus, because that's a very interesting stat to look at. So while Towns was on the court, the Knicks were outscored by 17 points. That is the most on the team. OG, minus 14. Deuce, a minus 10. Bridges, a minus 8. And Josh Hart, who played, he made some boneheaded plays here and there, but look what he provided tonight. A double-double, 14 points, 20 rebounds, 6 assists for him. Only 2 turnovers. Excellent game for Josh Hart tonight. Precious Achiuwa, a +3. 9 points for him, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and picked up a block. Even Cam Payne got credit for a block tonight. OG got a nice block, and Mikal Bridges, tremendous block on James Harden on the left baseline that I talked about earlier. 22 points for him tonight. One of Mikal's best games of late for him tonight, and that is a nice sign of life. When he knows that his point guard is down, he's got to step up, and he actually comes through tonight. He was the second leading scorer to Karl Anthony Towns, but even more efficient. He only needed 12 shot attempts to give the Knicks 22 points. That is tremendous efficiency. But I want to see more 3-point attempts. You can't, like I said earlier, you can't be trading 2s for 3s. I wish he had mixed it up and taken a few more 3-point shots. Here are the Clippers stat lines. Nicholas Batum cooked the Knicks. He hit 4 3-pointers in that first half to give them, I think they were up by 8 at the half. Tremendous beginning for him. He didn't finish quite as hot. It was 4 of 7. So I guess he was 1 of 3 in the second half from the 3-point line. Finished set with 17 points in 34 minutes. Kawhi Leonard needed 18 shot attempts to give you 20 points, 1 of 6 from the 3-point line. I thought the Knicks did a good job defensively on him. Zubac definitely did hurt the Knicks in that first half. 16 points, 14 rebounds, but he was iced, especially in that fourth quarter. And a lot of that credit goes to Precious Achiuwa. I thought Precious played some really good defense on Zubac. James Harden, 27 points, only 7 of 20 overall, though. 7 assists. Man, this game was right there for these Knicks to win. Even Bogdanovich couldn't hit a 3-pointer, but he did pick up 12 rebounds in 27 minutes. But the Clippers overall shot 42% and almost 40% from the 3-point line. You can see it here, the comparisons, 26% for the Knicks, 39% for the Clippers from the 3-point line. And really, that was the story of the game. Because the free throw line, both teams got comparable, 19 attempts for the Clippers, 18 for the Knicks, so very similar. Knicks connected on 60. Really good free throw shooting tonight for the Knicks. The rebounding, Knicks won that battle. The assists, Knicks won that battle. Steals, lost that by 1. Blocks, though, they had 8. We only had 4. So they had 15 stocks. We had 10 stocks. That leads to, some stoppage. For sure, it ends possessions. The turnovers, we had 15. That's a little high for us, about 2 or 3 high for us. Fast break points, even as I mentioned before, points in the paint was, a plus in our column, but not enough. If you're going to let the other team make 6 more 3-point shots than you, 6 more. That's 18 more points that they're generating from the 3-point line than you are. You need to make up those points elsewhere. They didn't make it up enough. That is for sure. Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching this. I wanted to go live and share this this with you guys. But, I know I got heated and about certain things. But in reality, this was kind of hopeful. It was a good sign. The Knicks showed signs of life. They showed that they can play some good defense when they need to, that they can hit some timely buckets when they need to without Jalen Brunson. I do believe if this wasn't the second game of a back-to-back, this would have been a W for the New York Knicks. So my hopes for them to go to Sacramento and pick up that W are pretty high. I think they can pull that off. And then they play the Trailblazers in Portland. I think that we can pull that game off, even though the Knicks do struggle against young athletic teams. I think they can pull that game off as well. And then the final game before they return back to New York to play the Heat is the Golden State Warriors in San Francisco. That game will be interesting. Not so sure about picking up a win there. So if the Knicks can pick up these next 2 games, they can go back from the road trip just down with a 2-3 performance on a West Coast trip, which isn't atrocious. What you want to avoid is a 1-4 or an 0-5. That's what you want to avoid. And it's unfortunate because last night the game was right there for the Knicks, and tonight the Knicks just needed more. They needed Cat to be a superstar tonight, and he wasn't. And that is something that I hope ends with this game. Okay, thank you so much for watching this. Again, my name is George. Please subscribe, hit the thumbs up button for me, and share this video. And drop your comments, especially if you're watching later on. I read all the comments. They definitely help me tremendously. So please share. Shout out to Gideon, Drew's Reviews. We got Block, Lex the Destroyer, Best Mod Around, Gangstar. Thank you guys all for joining me here in a late night edition on a very late Friday night, early Saturday morning of the New York Knicks. Okay, I will see you around the Knicks-Verse. Let's go. I will do a video over this weekend. Let's go.